Whoa, what an update! Figma just released a bunch of new features at Config 2024 and they are really amazing. Hi everyone, this is Atul Kumar and you are watching UX Trim. And I'm really excited to share highlights of Config 2024 keynote. Just have a look.
Over the last year, to try to keep up with our community, we've released a ton of new capabilities, including Figma AI, an overhaul of compare changes, annotations, typography support for variables, and of course, multi-edit. It's not just the big things, but also the small things that matter, like page dividers. One of my faves. This year, our launches are centered around three themes. One, reducing complexity. Second, a better developer experience. And of course, AI. All right, let's get started. So this is what Figma looked like 8 years ago. Since then, we've added a lot. We've launched a lot of new capabilities. We're going to do the next scariest thing, which is a redesign. And I can't tell you how scary it is designing a new UI for Figma for designers. So with that, let's take a look at UI 3, our redesigned interface. OK, so here I am in Figma. You have a brand new, shiny interface. You can see that you still have a lot of the same structure you're used to. We have our layers and some pages on the left. And you've got your properties on the right. But the toolbar has dropped to the bottom. So when Raji's requested the spotlight, you'll notice that the UI has just kind of hidden away. You can see that I can really easily still collapse that state. But if I want to now bring the properties panel back, I can click here. That my properties panel comes right back up. And with that, we're prioritizing the things that you're used to on the top right when I select a frame. However, if I select a component, you'll notice that we prioritize the component props and variables. Now, some other things to note are that I can also resize this panel. We've also done some things like we've clustered the X and the Y here with position, and width and height with auto layout for a simpler IA. And things that are relevant to selection are on the right-hand side as well. So I can mark this as ready for dev, or I can do some Boolean operations. First, I want to show you some stuff about auto layout. And as I move this frame around, you can see that it's not resizing, so there's no auto layout yet. Now, if I add in auto layout, so I'm going to click this button to use auto layout. As I do, maybe instead, if I have auto layout with a down, nope. So what you really need to do to make this work is for auto layout to function properly here, you need to have nested frames, which is actually quite an advanced concept and thing to figure out how to structure in your head. And so today what we're doing is making it so it's a bit easier to get into auto layout by making something called suggest auto layout. If I press this, you'll see that I get all the frames that I need. And on the right-hand side here, we've got a stack of cards. If I drag this in, as I resize here, it'll automatically snap to fill. And we've been working with our friends at Apple and Google to bring you the latest iOS 18 and Material 3 kits right inside of Figma. So you can see here, we've given our assets panel a bit of an overhaul, too, as part of this redesign. And if I click into one of these kits, you can see that it's really nicely sorted. And I can also search within the kit for what I want. Now, let's say I go to buttons, I can find what I need, and I can just plop it right in. We've also made a Figma simple design system to show you as well. Let's see what happens when we change our theming using variables and modes. So if I click here and switch to dark mode, you'll see that all that automatically works. For Material 3, I can switch from auto light theme to dark high contrast. And the simple design system for Figma, we can also do this for going from responsive mobile to tablet. Now, if I switch over to dev mode, like I promised you earlier, I can click on this tab bar here, and you'll see I automatically, through Code Connect, get the Swift UI code I need. I also get the Compose code I need. And in the case of the simple design system from Figma, the React code that I need as well. The code has already been written for all of these components, which makes it even easier to go from design to production. Next up, But there's more we can simplify beyond the editor, and in particular, we know that we need to focus on billing and sharing workflows. We build Figma for different personas: freelancers, small agencies, startups, large enterprises, and more. And our focus has been on making it really easy for product teams to collaborate within an organization. That means that we've had a bit of a gap. So first thing is, we're focused on connecting your workspaces. The working name for this is Figma Connect. We also do have Code Connect, and given that that might change as a name in the future, but you can think of it as sort of like Slack Connect, which is why we have the Connect in the name. Figma Connect will let you work with external clients in a new shared workspace using your existing Figma seats. And we hope to launch this in early 2025. Second, we want to solve for the transfer of projects from agencies to clients. We believe there's a number of ways to improve this workflow, and our goal is to ship some of these improvements in the coming months. So much more to come here as well. Finally, we want to bring more clarity and control to billing. First, you can increase the cadence of notifications from editor upgrades, if you'd like, on your team. And second, you have the choice to require admin approval for each editor upgrade as well. So we just talked a lot about how we're evolving Figma for our core users. Now I want to dive into how we're making Figma a better experience for developers.
Last year on this stage, we launched Dev Mode, a new space in Figma built entirely for developers to easily access everything they need to figure out what to build and to understand how to build it, helping developers implement designs faster and more accurately. To date, teams have marked over 4 million designs as ready for dev. So what's next? Today, we're introducing some huge updates to Dev Mode to support the realities of an iterative design process. We want to simplify the inspection of large files, making it easier to find what you need. And we want to help you bring your code and design closer together to speed up all those developer workflows. Today, when I make these kinds of changes, it's not immediately obvious when I'm finished making my edits. But now, this frame has a new yellow indicator. It's in a new edited state, as you can see. Launching today, I can now click on this and remark it as ready for dev, leaving a note describing the changes. In this case, I added some spacing. There, I'm done with my changes. Now, we shipped Ready for Dev last year, so today we're launching the new Ready for Dev view, which I can find here at the top left of any file with Ready for Dev content in it. With this new view, I can see all the different work in progress and everything that's ready for dev in the file, hiding anything that's not relevant to me as a developer. So let's click into this to get some more details. This brings us to Focus View, which we're also introducing today. Focus View cuts out all the canvas clutter and just shows me the design that I actually want to inspect and nothing else. On the right-hand side here in Focus View, we can also see a list of all the changes that have been made to just this frame. And it looks like in addition to those spacing changes, Dylan also changed some things related to the responsiveness of the design. I'm going to open up the prototype viewer. But launching today, we have a new responsive setting for the prototype viewer. With this, I can easily see how my design should work across many different screen sizes, giving me the confidence that I am implementing it correctly. Now that I'm done implementing my changes, all I need to know is to let Dylan know. So launching today, we now have the ability to mark a design as completed, which I'm going to do. This will send a notification to Dylan and really close that loop. When I click on this button here, it's not immediately clear to me that we already have existing React code for this component in our code base. And the last thing I want for somebody to do is re-implement this button like 10, 20 times. So this is why we built Code Connect, which is launching out of beta today. Code Connect is a way for you to bring your design systems directly into dev mode. And you've actually already seen this technology in action. It's the same tech that powers the code for the UI kits you saw earlier. Let's stick to this button and open up the component playground. If you don't know the component playground, here you can change props and variants and so forth to get a sense of your design. And the great thing with Code Connect is, as we toggle these things here, you can see that the code automatically reflects what is in the design.
You might have noticed this little sparkle at the bottom of the toolbar. This is our new actions. It is also the new entry point for AI. So there's 3 things that we're focused on with this functionality. First, getting started. Who hasn't faced a blank canvas before and wondered how they could get through it? Second, finding what you need. And who doesn't want to find what they need? Third, staying in the flow and making sure that you are not hitting the speed bumps in your design process and that we're able to help you be more creative. So let's dive in. All right. So I'm going to click on the little sparkle. And I'll start with Make Design. So I click Make Design. I can start typing in what I want. So for example, let's type in a pizza finder app with a map and a card for a selected restaurant. And I'm going to say Make It. So you'll see that it says working on the bottom. As it's working, it's communicating with an LLM, in this case, OpenAI, and then it's pulling in images as well from a diffusion model. It's using all that, doing all that, and figuring out how to lay out a screen using some design systems that we've created at Figma. You can see it's got Tony's Pizza. From there, you can see that we've got selected state. I can change the theme really easily. And I can also make more changes. So for example, this color right here, I can easily change it to whatever I'd like. I can change my corner radius. So you'll see over here in these buttons, as I change that, it will shift. I can change my spacing. And I can change the font that it's using as well until I find what I want. OK, so let's try something that's a bit more complex. Let's try a portfolio website. So I'm going to go back to Make Designs. And this time, I'll say a personal portfolio. Let's see, website for a sustainable, and we'll make it fun. We'll call it a Middle-earth architect, if I can spell architect. All right, make it. So it comes up with eco-architect. It's definitely bringing in the sustainability right away for designing sustainable spaces in Middle-earth based in Rivendell. It's Elrond, of course. He's our architect that we're focused on today. And it's going to pull in some images as well. You never know what it comes up with, so it's always a surprise, which is pretty fun. He seems very serious. And we got some nice Hobbiton eco village there. I wouldn't mind moving in. Some people have referred to me as the Hobbit before. Yeah, I mean, even got client testimonials, impact, contact us. So maybe what I want to do is maybe make it easier to reach out and contact our architect here. So I'm going to go to the prompt portion, and I'm going to write in add a contact form before the footer and make changes. OK, it actually worked. So we have a little contact form now. And the #1 piece of feedback we've already received, and I suspect many of you might have, is can I use my own design system with this? And the answer is not yet, but we want to get there. So that was Figma AI and Make Designs. We're just getting started, and so excited to keep building this with all of you in our community and move this forward. Next up, I don't know about all of you, but my Slack has a lot of things that look like this. This is an example channel from Uber called Design Finder. And they use it to post screenshots from which they can then search for assets in Figma. So for example, here's a screenshot of the app. I'm going to paste this right in. So I'm going to now use search for similar command to see what it does. And right away, it finds for me within Figma the right screen for that app. And it's all in vector forms. I can navigate this. I can change things. It's exactly what I need. Now, maybe I'm thinking to myself, oh, man, OK, I need to get the screen that's after this next, and I just totally don't remember what it's called. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to search here for a string that I remember on that screen, which is confirm your pickup spot. And I immediately get screens that are relevant. So now just drag that in as well. And now I've got my pickup spot. OK, next, so I'm just going to draw this with the pencil tool. So I'm going to draw a circle. And it's not my best work, but All right, I'm going to group this and say search for similar. And now if I go to components, you'll see that I get the center tool icon right there. I can just drag that in. So what we hope is that this will make it much easier to find what you need in Figma. If we go to the community tab here and search for example admin dashboard UI, you'll see that it's able to search across our entire Figma community, and you're able to then pull in the result that you want. So for example, here's a beautiful dashboard that I was able to just pull in from the community. And this is also attributed right away to the creator. OK, next up, how do we help you stay in the flow using AI? So this is a recipe app that I want to build out. And you can see there's some ingredients, but I'd like to make them longer. I'd like to put a picture in, things like that. So let's see what I can do to speed up my workflow and stay in the flow and get this out. So I'm going to first just select this component. One thing that I typically do is I might duplicate this component a few times. You'll see now I get this helpful suggestion to replace content. If I press it, it'll just replace that with the right ingredients that I might want. If I go to the parent frame, I can just click and drag. And now, it's super easy to insert all sorts of great content into your application. It's been making lemon bars for me for a long time, so we're going to put in lemon bars. And I'm going to say make an image, and I'm just going to type in lemon bars, make it, and I'm going to get 4 different images of lemon bars. I'm always very nervous waiting for the results to return. OK, so let's see which one looks the most appetizing. I like that one quite a lot. And you can see we have a recipe description, too. Now, I don't really want to go and think about what text I should put in there right now. So instead, I'm going to say rewrite this and say a description for Aunt Jerry's lemon bars. Indulge in the delightful taste of Aunt Jerry's famous lemon bars. OK, it really went long there. Let's say a bit longer and more eloquent. Nope. OK. This is all beta, OK? So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Another thing we can do is we can remove the background. So let's say that I've got this image here. It's a component. And I want to see what this looks like if I remove the background of that image. So I'll press remove background. It should remove. Now, one thing that we often do as designers is we, after creating an app in English, we want to see how it's going to look in other languages. And so I can also translate this to other languages as well. Now, I want to see if my design works in German first, because these are very long strings. And so let's see what happens. All right. There is a slight issue that I found, which is that in German, you can see there's truncation here. And so what I'm going to do is in this main component, I'm going to make it just a little bit wider in order to make it so that it just works regardless of whatever language I'm in. All right. So one other thing on this screen before we move on, you're going to notice that there's a bunch of different frames, components. I'm just going to say name layers as well and see what happens. And what should happen is that it's going to go through all of these different layers and instantly rename them. Next up, I want to prototype this. I need to add some noodles in and figure out the different sources and targets for my prototype. But what if AI could help here as well? So we're going to type or go to make prototype and see what happens. And you can see that it's starting to draw the connections between my screens. And it even gets the search as well. So let's see what the preview is going to be like. If I click, I can see that it's working. I can go to my, it says lemon cookies there, but that's OK. And I can even go back and just really easily navigate my application here, even scroll. If I go to the responsive tab in the viewer, I can show off that responsive viewer one more time. It gets kind of fun. So all the AI features you just saw are now in beta. That beta will be rolling out with the UI 3 beta. We don't know how many people are going to be using this or how much they'll be using these features yet. And we don't know the underlying costs, just to be very honest about it. So this year, we're going to absorb those costs in 2024. And sometime in 2025, we're going to update everyone on additional fees for these features once we understand more what the usage looks like. The generative features you've seen today were built with all off-the-shelf models. And as you try these features out, you'll see they're a good start, but there's a lot more we can do to accelerate you further in your workflow. All right, so you just saw Figma AI. This is just a start, and there's so many more opportunities for how we can help designer workflows. Today, in addition to AI, we launched a redesigned Figma editor. We launched updates to dev mode, including the GA of Code Connect, and today, I'd like to announce and introduce you all to Figma Slides. Like Figma design, Figma Slides is purpose-built for collaboration, and I can see that Mahika has entered the file.
Across the years, we've seen many of you use Figma in unexpected ways. In fact, last year alone, we saw over 3.5 million presentations created inside of Figma. Figma Slides channels the power of Figma in a form purpose-built for telling your story. After all, visual communication is the most powerful form of storytelling. OK, so here we have a pre-launch review for a new product, Earthling. In Figma Slides, we sweat the details so that you wouldn't have to. So for example, if I wanted to go ahead and change this slide from white to black, you'll notice that the text color updates automatically as well. Not only does this work with black and white, but with any color in our color wheel. Over here, we have grid mode. We've seen all of you leverage the power of the infinite canvas inside of Figma, and we wanted to give you a bird's eye view into your entire presentation. So you can go ahead and better structure and massage your narrative. So if I want to go ahead and move this research section up, I can do so easily. And if I want to go ahead and reorder my slides, you'll see that everything reflows. We also give you the ability to ensure that your entire deck has a consistent look and feel by giving you a template picker where you have the ability to use different styles in order to ensure your fonts and colors are all in order. So let me flip this into the same style as the rest of my presentation and go ahead and shuffle the colors as well. I can also use this view to animate my slides. And we've brought in the best of prototyping into Figma Slides as well. So I can go over into my Animate tab and change the transition from none to my favorite, Smart Animate. Now, if I go into my presenter view, which has my speaker notes right here, I'll be able to test out my transitions. All right, now let's zoom into slide 16 for some focused editing. I see here that this slide needs a little bit of tweaking. First of all, the text, there's just way too much of it. So when it comes to AI inside of Figma Slides, not only do we have the actions panel that Dylan just walked you through, but we also have this custom text tone dial. If I want to go more concise and a little more professional, I can just drag the dial and see my text automatically update. You can use this exact same tone dial to take an outline and flesh out your entire presentation. Well, we support seamless copy-paste throughout all of our products. And if I want to drill down and edit my text directly in here, I can do so as well. Not only that, but I can take advantage of the responsive design from earlier in order to better have this mock fill the space. Introducing design mode. Now I see all of my Figma design favorites are right here. Auto layout, just one click away. Vector editing, bam. And if I see that this text here needs a little bit of hanging punctuation, I can go ahead into my detailed editing and toggle that on. What's really nice is that when I go back into slides mode, all of this stays editable as well, so that my collaborators can take advantage of the edits that I'm making. Well, with Figma Slides, we give you the ability to copy a prototyping link, paste it into your deck, and have it load automatically. This way, when I hit present, I have the ability to engage directly with the presentation. So I can go ahead, hit the search bar, scroll over to the map, and move around. And even cooler, if I go ahead and spotlight Raji, I can see him interact with the prototype. Look, Ma, no hands. Well, inside of Figma Slides, we've brought in polls, face piles, and more in order to keep your audience engaged. One of the biggest struggles I have is constantly chasing down my stakeholders for alignment. And so we've brought alignment scales to Figma Slides.
Thank you so much. Mahika, thank you. Figma Slides is rolling out a beta starting today. We've got a gallery of templates to get you started. And of course, you can even create your own for your team to use. It's free for everyone during 2024 and in early 2025. It'll continue to be free on starter plans or $3 to $5 a month, depending on your paid plan.
Oh well, this update is really amazing. I was struggling a lot with a lot of things. Now AI is gonna solve for me, and also with this consistent UI, I think our work is going to be much easier. Well, that's that. I'm definitely gonna cover all these new updated features as well as old features in my upcoming videos, where I'm gonna teach you working of each and every feature with new examples. And I started this channel a few weeks ago, and I really need your love and support. If you are into Figma, UI, UX, interaction, please subscribe. I'm gonna share many videos and tutorials on this channel. Stay tuned and see you next time. Bye-bye.